Okay, so today we'll be looking at the MAJI resistance. They will look at the causes, look at the cause and the effect. We have seen the Mandika resistance yesterday. Before that, we had the Abyssinia resistance. So today we'll be looking at the MAJI resistance, and I hope that it's going to be a great lesson for us. So if you are new to my channel, just subscribe. Look below, you see the red button. You can hit that red button and hit the notification bell so that when I produce the next video, you'll be the first to be informed. So let's start with the cause. What is the cause of the Maji resistance? You have to understand the Maji people are actually the present day Tanzania. So that is a Maji people. So let's look at cause of the resistance. The war was triggered by German colonial policies designed to force the indigenous population to grow cotton for export. The war lasted from 1905 to 1907, during which 75,000 to 300,000 died, overwhelmingly from famine. So the war was actually triggered because of the German colonial rule, and they had to force the people to export cotton, right? Force the people to grow cotton for export. So, what are the causes of the resistance? To regain their independence, what did they really do? So the causes was that, so this one is the cause. The main cause was this. Then the causes was against the French, the ruthless, harsh and cruel German rule. So they were against the ruthless German rule. So the people had to resist because it was very harsh, it was very cruel. So the second point is that they were against the land alienation. That means the Germans were trying to exploit their lands, use their land for nothing without any payment, use it as if it was their own land. So the people were totally against, and that's led to rebellion. Then Goni was challenging for the 1898 massacre. Ngoni was revenging for the 1898 massacre. So because of the massacre that happened, the chief and the people had to revenge. So that's why they were actually a rebellion, because they had to revenge for this. So they resented Christian missionary erosion of their culture and religion. So because the Christian missionaries came to, they wanted to erase their culture and their religion, the people had to resist so that their cultures and religion are going to be maintained. They were against their women being raped. So there were high level of rape among the women. So the people were actually against it. So they had to fight and resist oppression. So there were also heavy taxation. Okay, heavy taxation. So the people did not actually like the taxation system, which was very brutal and heavy. So they resisted brutality of Akindas and Jobes. Communal cotton growing scheme. They also resisted that their cotton will not be growing through exploitation or the like without the right payment for that. So the forced labor in cotton fields, roads, and settler farms. Those forced labor make the people to stand up to resist the Germans and fight for their rights and their independence. Well, now, what are the effects of the Maji resistance? What are the effects? The war resulted in severe consequences such as famine, homelessness, rising infant mortality rates, and environmental degradation. So from here you can see the effect of the war. People were homeless. So people were homeless. People were famine. They were rising mortality. Children were just dying, and the environment was really degraded. The proliferation of bush and game led to a reduction in arable land and an increase in disease carrying turtle flies. The targeted assassination of local leaders caused a permanent disruption of political and social structures. So those are some of the effects. Following the Maji War, colonial governance underwent significant changes for the remaining years. The local population, weakened by the war's aftermath, could no longer mount effective and widespread resistance. while the German forces responded with extreme brutality to any signs of desert. So the people became weak and they could no longer resist much longer. Today, the southern regions of Tanzania remain impoverished compared to the rest of the country, with higher infant mortality rates and lower per capita incomes, a lasting legacy of colonial rule and the Maji War. Even the renowned Njerere National Park, formerly the Sea Game Reserve, was established because large areas became uninhabitable for humans as a result of the conflict. So people had to quit some certain areas and it became very uninhabitable for the citizens. Nevertheless, the caves were resistant residents sought refuge, and the trees from which fighters were hanged by the Germans continue to serve as significant sites of remembrance. So all these areas became tourist zones where people would go and have pilgrimage to actually see how things went. So it became actually a site of remembrance for these people. That means the caves where the fighters were hiding, the trees where they were using, or that the Germans used to hang them, were all served a place of resistance. So that's it about our classes for today about the Maji resistance. Tomorrow we'll continue with our uh, history lessons, and I know that it's going to be of help to us. You can share this with other students so that they might benefit from this. Thank you.